It's lunchtime with Southern Maryland divers. Dive Master John here, and if you think putting your foot in your mouth is hard enough or easy enough for some of us, try doing it with a fin on. That makes it real interesting. Yeah, you definitely want chipped teeth when you do that. So, yeah, from experience, let me tell you. So what I want to talk about today is, I hope you all do. First off, I hope you all doing fine. Quarantine away. I'm speaking to you live from our bunker in Southern Maryland, the dive shop. We've got a little bit of a bunker mentality going these days, but we're all doing fine. I hope you are too. So what I want to do today is we're going to talk about fins and boots. So we'll start off with boots. You know, there's always something to talk about at the dive shop. So I want to go over some things with you. First off, there's a couple different kinds of boots. Okay, this is probably our most popular boot right here. This is what probably 80% of the population dives with. It's our standard boot, ankle boot, and it zips up on the side. It has a soft bottom. And the idea behind this boot is it should fit. What does it fit like? This fit should be more like a tube sock. Okay, when you put it on, you want it to fit as closely as possible all the way around, including near the top, near where your toes are. It's not meant to fit like a regular hiking boot or a tennis shoe. Okay, you're not going for a long run. Your feet aren't going to swell up in it. So if your toes are close to the tip, not a big deal. You don't want them all crunched up. That would be uncomfortable. Don't want to do that. But if it's close to the tip, not a big problem. So when you're fitting for one of these, make sure it's just as snug as you want it really snug. Remember, it is neoprene. It does stretch, so wide, not a problem. They don't come in half sizes, so snug as possible, okay, without being uncomfortable. All right, that's what you're looking for in one of these, okay? Now, we have other types of boots here as well. Here's another one, just as a difference, okay? Similar idea. The difference, though, is this has a hard bottom to it versus the soft bottom. And what this is for is for my ninja friends who are sneaking through the woods at night, all loaded up with their gear. No, but if you're doing a lot of shore diving where there's you got to hike away with your gear on, this you're going to feel every pebble, and I mean every pebble. Every blade of grass possibly if you were carrying doubles. But if this is a bunch of hard shell bottom, so it works out really great for that particular purpose. It gives you some something different, a little bit of protection from the ground you're walking on. Or let's say you're in Bon Air and you got to go over some fairly difficult coral to get into and out of. This might be a preferable shoe to wear than this. Okay, but the one thing to keep in mind the difference between these two boots is if you go with something like this is going to be wider, so your regular fin might not fit. This is going to be a wider fin, so if you wear a regular, this might take a large, for instance. This might be one size up. So bear that in mind if you do that. This is going to be a slightly different size than this will. So keep that in mind. So depending upon what kind of diving you're doing is what kind of boot you're going to go after. This will suffice for probably 85% of the diving, 90% of the diving that you're going to do. So come in and see us. We'll talk to you about it. Okay. Now, fins. A lot of fins. If you look over here at our vast array of fins that we have a lot of different fins. Mostly color differences, which can be important to people. People like colors. I like colors. Bright colors makes it easier to find the bodies, you know, when we're going looking for you. Just kidding. But the big thing about it is we'll start here at the beginning. This is the rocket style fin. A lot of the old farts like this particular fin. This is the kind of fin they drove with back in the sea hunt days. It's changed a little bit over the course of since then. It's black because they filmed in black and white. The world was black and white back then, and it's black. I don't know what to say about it. I have a pair. I don't particularly care for them. but a lot of people swear by them. They think they're really great. They're heavy. They have a nice thrust. They are compact, so they're good in confined spaces. So there's a lot of that as well. People swear by them. Like I said, I'm not particularly enamored of them, but they have a place, and they have a place depending upon what kind of diving you're doing. And if you like them, you like them. I'll go move down the list here. The basic one. This is your basic entry level fin. Okay, you put your foot in the pocket, you strap it on, you pull this up, you grab it by the tab here. Now this works. You can pull it up this way, or you can grab it just sit here and grab it by the loop and pull it up over your heel. Then you grab these two tabs and you yank at the same time, and you pull it down until it's snug up against your heel. Okay, and that's great. And then you jump in the water and you go diving. You get out of the water. You want to get out of it, press the tabs here, and you're out. Okay, very simple. And then you're back in, then you're good to go. Okay, that's a lot of adjusting to do, but it is it's an entry level fin. You put it on your foot, you kick, you go. That's what you know. I still have this is the fin I bought when I first started going, and it works. Like I said, I still have my first fin, but I've moved on. So now there's other fins up here as well. Now these are all the same fin. They just come in different colors. I think the orange ones are faster than the blue ones. I'm just teasing. They're all different colors. The main difference, though, is if you look at them, is versus the plain fins or the rocket fins. If you look at the foot pocket, this material stretches all the way down to the tip. And what happens when you're diving is that gives these fins a lot more flex than the other ones. Now the theory behind that is what happens when you're diving is you'll see in the water, you'll see somebody with these fins. These will flex a lot more in the water. They will flex a lot more in the water when someone kicks with these versus these other fins. It will flex more. And what happens is that'll give a person in the water a lot more thrust when they go along, which is great for moving along quick, or if you're in a current, you get a lot more oomph for your for every kick. And I guess theoretically, the more thrust you get, the more efficient you are in the water, the less air you're going to consume. That would be one theory. However, I don't buy that as much as I do the convenience of the strap. This is spring-loaded, which makes donning and doffing the fin a heck of a lot more easier. Just pull it up and back. And as far as breakage is concerned, since you can imagine on that fin, you're always pulling and tugging on it. You're always adjusting it. You jump in the water because you're a rush to get in the water, and you never seem to quite get it right. You're tugging on it even in the water. With this one, you put it on because it's spring-loaded. It's always properly adjusted, and it's just great that way. And I don't want to say it never breaks, because we know about Murphy's Law. I've never had anybody come back with a broken. Well, I had one person come back. It's not because the spring broke. It's the plastic tab on here that attaches to actually broke off. So it was the fin, not the spring. So, these are really stable fins to have on your feet. I like them a lot, and I think after you've been diving for a while, you will appreciate this particular feature as well, in terms of being able to be in the water and move along smartly. So, like I said, these fins come in a variety of colors. The colors are nice, different colors, and we go from there. Now we also have another fin over here. I jumped over. That's the dive right. If you look at the difference, it's solid. It doesn't have. The foot pocket is different, and it stays the same. This is a stiffer fin than that fin, so it's more an extension of your leg, but it does have the spring strap on the back. So Don and Dolphin, it has that same ease that the Aqualung does. I don't think it's as fast as that. It's not as fast as that one. It doesn't have as much thrust when you kick. But what it does do, because it's stiffer, it has a lot more. The control on it is finer. That one's a little sloppier in the water than this one is. So I like this one when I'm doing, say, photography work. Because I have a little bit more fine motor control when I'm on the reef and I'm doing a little bit of fluttering kick. I'm just trying to move around just a little bit. This is a great fin for that. Or if you're in an enclosed environment, this is a great fin for that. And the result is, depending upon what you're doing, the fins can be, you tailor a fin to a particular type of diving. However, most people, any fin is, depending upon what you're doing, the differences can be a little on the margins, shall we say. It depends upon what kind of diving you're doing, whether or not you're even going to notice the differences. But I would recommend, depending upon what kind of diving you're doing, would steer you to the kind of fin that you actually should be looking at. So there's that. Then there's this fin here. We have this fin available as well. Now this is a shorty. This one will fit inside your carry-on, and it's got it's short. It's got these little tabs that you can adjust for strength of the kick, and it doesn't have an adjustment, but it's kind of like spring-loaded, but it's a special type of the material they use is soft, so theoretically you don't need to use a boot with these, but I have these. I've tried them without the boot, and I guess I must have soft, delicate skin, but I use a boot with these as well. So we can get these or something similar to them for you if you want these, but they claim that they work as well as the large fins. I don't think they do. I think they're a little slower. So if you get caught in a surge, or you're trying to keep up with your buddies who are moving quickly, smartly after that turtle, you might not have as much thrust as, say, the full fitted fin. But for packing, there's no better fin than this to get in. You can't get another fin into your carry-on luggage. This might be the way to go if you want to bring everything on board inside your carry-on. And we can get these for you. So there's that.
Stiffer fin have a higher potential to cause leg cramps?
No, leg cramp has more to do with what your water intake, your heat, and all those other variables. So whether or not you're eating correctly, whether or not you're exercising, all those types of things go into leg cramp. No, it's not the fin's fault. It's the operator. Okay, so there's that. So let's try it on a pair of fins, and I'll show you what's involved in terms of what a good fit is for a fin, how to fit a fin. Okay, now let's grab one here. Grab the orange one here. Now, when you get a fin, when you go to put look for a fin, these particular fins that we have here, the boots that we have here, what you want is the fin pocket. If you notice, the fin is all neoprene and it has this rubber insole here, right? And what you want is the end of the pocket, the ridge of the pocket here. You want the ridge of the pocket here to break across this insole here. That's what you want to have happen, okay? That means it's fitted properly on here. You also want the heel strap to break across this rubber part here, okay? So that is a good fit. Now you don't really care about where the heel of the boot is. If it's, you don't care so much where your heel is, whether it's sticking off a little or a lot. You're not so much concerned about that as you are about where this breaks across the where the pocket breaks across the insole there, that rubber. Okay, the closer you get to the middle, the better the fit is. You know, so as long as it's on this rubber insole, you're good to go. Okay, so normally I put on one of these socks, but today, because I don't want anybody to see my ugly feet, I'll just leave my tube sock on. So I'll put that on. Okay, and then, all right, so. So now, this is a regular for me, and if you look, you can see how this one sits. Okay, it's breaking across the rubber. Okay, and the heel strap on the back is on the rubber. Okay, now another important point about fitting, sexy legs. I know, control yourself, people. Another important point about these, the way these should fit on your foot, is you want to make sure your foot fills the pocket as much as possible. You don't want a lot of gap in the sides, from side to side. So the fin should fit solidly and should feel solid on the foot. Okay, so when you move it around, you don't want it to feel like it's going to fall off. Okay, you want the fin to be an extension of your foot. All right, so that's how they work. Now, a lot of people like different colors. I get into colors. I happen to be a fan of the colors. Yeah, a lot of people, Ninja Black is real popular. But one of the things about the colors is, it's easy. Most people have black magic markers. I like to write my name on this gear, so you can spot it on the boat. People write it on the back. I write mine on the top and the back, because I don't care what the stuff looks like. I use it at dive. Some people are real concerned about how they look on the boat. Obviously, you can tell from looking at me, I don't care how I look. So you want to write your name on the gear so it's easily found, because when you throw your fins up to somebody, they all wind up in a pile, and a lot of times you'll find 2 or 3 pairs of the same types of fins. So write your name on your gear, so you can sort it out at a later date. The other thing about colors is, when you're underwater and people are taking pictures, I like to take pictures. It's easier to spot people, or you're just swimming along with a group of people. It's easier to spot somebody when they're wearing colored fins. So the bright colors, the yellows, the oranges, the blues, they stand out a little bit more in underwater than, let's say, Ninja Black. So, if you like Ninja Black, you like Ninja Black. It's a thing, and go for it. But I just give you some reasons to take a look at the brighter colors. Okay, some people like to match too. God bless them. I don't think anything I own matches, but go for it. Any questions on fins or masks, or fins or booties out there while we're here? Okay then. Well, if that's the case, we've gone over fins. It's a lot of different fins in here. The most important thing about it is, always with personal gear, is fit. Most important thing, make sure the thing fits. If it doesn't fit, it's not worth owning. The next thing is to consider your budget. We here have a variety of fins at different price ranges. So the next thing would be to consider your budget, and the last thing is features. And the features would get into what kind of diving you're doing. Okay, so we can steer you towards the best pair of fins for the type of diving that you're going to be doing. All right. As always, here at Southern Maryland Divers, we're going to try to steer you in the best direction we can to make your next dive, whenever that's going to be, the best dive possible. So, hope you found a good place to hunker down for this. My wife and I were still talking to each other after all this time, so that's a positive. Although she makes me sleep on the couch now, but I don't know what that's all about. But I hope you're doing well, and we'll see you next time. This is John, Southern Maryland Divers. Talk to you all later.